Hey, this is Adam with the Adam Wines Guitar Academy. In today's video, we are going to be looking at one of the most fun to play beginner riffs, specifically the intro to Crazy Train. Here is a short of me playing it, so you have it in your ear. Okay, so let's get right into it. The beginning starts with a pick, scrape, slide, which I opted to skip. And the reason I did that is sometimes a pick scrape can ruin your pick and kind of screw with your strings a little bit. Neither of those is a big deal. Picks are very affordable and strings are also very affordable and easy to change, but I personally did not want to ruin one of my picks or my strings, but that's just me. But if you want to, feel free. And how you would do it, you simply take the side of your pick and you start on your strings and you just scrape it across your strings all the way down your guitar. It's not hard. It sounds awesome. So don't get me wrong. It's just I personally did not want to ruin one of my picks today. So anyway, once you have done that scrape, we'll get right into the actual playing of the riff. So the riff itself, if you're a total beginner, don't worry if this is confusing, but you can come back to this later and you will appreciate this. But basically, this riff comes from an F sharp minor scale, specifically this one. The notes there are 2, 4, and 5 on the low E string, 2, 4, and 5 on the A string, and 2 and 4 on the D string. And the notes are F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, and then it would start over once again. So in F sharp minor, it's also the same key as what we would call A major. And the real big thing about this key is that basically you have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp to worry about as far as sharps are concerned. There's no flats or anything. So anyway, those are the notes that are going to be used in the riff. Not all those notes, but that's where it's coming from. So the actual riff is going to do 2 of the 2nd fret on the low E string. So basically you're just going to have your index finger on fret 2 of the low E and you're just going to pick it 2 times. And to make our life really easy today, we're only going to do down picking, so don't worry about alternate picking. So 2 down picks on the 2nd fret low E string. Then it's going to go to the 4th fret of the A string. And then it's going to come right back to the 2nd fret of the low E string. It may help you to visualize a power chord, like an F sharp 5 power chord. That would be right here, the power chord that's on fret 2 and 4 on the E and A string. So this riff also kind of comes from the F sharp power chord a little bit too. It kind of colors and plays around with it using an F sharp pedal tone. So once again, fret 2 low E twice, fret 4 A string, back to fret 2 on the low E. So far we've had an F sharp and a C sharp as far as the notes are concerned, and that is the interval of a 5th. So that's nice to know and interesting. Now, once we've done that, so once again, we're going to now go to the 5th fret on the A string, and we're going to use our pinky to do that. And then we're going to come back to the 2nd fret on the low E again. So back to that F sharp pedal. That's why it's a pedal. We keep coming back to that F sharp. So far, nice and slow. I actually really love that interval, this F sharp to the D. It's one of my favorite intervals. It's a minor 6. It has a really cool sound. So I think that is one of the reasons why this riff is very fun and interesting, is that interval there. I really like that interval. Okay, so once again, we have... So 2, 4 on the A string, ring finger, back to 2 on the low E. So 5 on the A with the pinky, back to 2 on the low E. Like that, and that's the first measure. And it's just steady 8th notes, so if you were counting this, it would simply be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so really, really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The notes there are F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, D, F sharp. So we have an F sharp pedal tone going to that 5th, which is the C sharp, and then going to that minor 6, which is the D. So as you can see, all the notes are coming from F sharp minor, and we're coloring that perfect 5th and the minor 6 interval, and it sounds really great. So now we come into the next measure, and this one's a little more scalar, so to speak. It uses, sounds more like a scale sequence a little bit. But basically, we're going to play the 2nd fret on the A string with our index finger. And then we're going to come to the 5th fret with our pinky on the low E string. Now, you may need to practice the index and pinky for a second. When you're first learning the guitar, you're asking your hand to do things it might not be used to doing. So you may need to just sit and go really slow and get the muscle to develop in your hand, the muscle of doing that particular motion there. It's completely normal. It'll feel weird at first if you've never played guitar before, but if you do it daily, you'll wake up one day and the muscles will feel much more comfortable doing that. So just take your time and be patient. So once again, we have this 2 on the A string, 5 on the low E, and then we're going to use our ring finger to grab the 4th fret on the low E string, and then we're going to go right back to the 5 on the low E string with our pinky. So you may want to just practice this motion. Pinky, ring, pinky. Once again, that's a very weird thing to do with your hands, so just take your time. So once again, 2 on the A, 5 on the low E, 4 on the low E, 5 on the low E. Then we're going to come back to the 2nd fret on the A string. Then we're going to come back to the 5 on the low E string with our pinky, back to the 4th fret on the low E with our ring, and then an open E note, which is pretty easy, just the open low E 6 string. So this measure put together, 2 on the A string, 5 on the E string, 4 on the E, 5 on the A, 2 on the A, 5 on the E, 4 on the E, like that. And the rhythm is the same, just simple 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and even slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, really take your time. You are, again, asking your hand to do something kind of strange if you've never done this before. In fact, something you might want to do is just sit and do this for a second. Super slow. As you can see, I'm just going 2, 3, 4, 5 on each string, but that's a great warm-up for this riff. That might help limber your hand up a little bit. Now, note-wise, this is kind of emphasizing the B a little bit, that 2nd fret on the A. And F sharp minor, that would be like the 4th degree, maybe the 4th chord, depending on if we're thinking of the harmony, like the chords behind, potentially. I can't guarantee that, but it's very possible. The notes are B, A, G sharp, A, B, A, G sharp, and E, all notes from F sharp minor. But it's really, like I said, emphasizing that B note. It keeps coming back to the B and then lands on the E at the end, setting us up to come right back to start the riff over again on the F sharp. So music theory wise, it's playing around with the melody in F sharp minor, but really emphasizing the B note for a little bit. And then simply we put these 2 measures together, and that's the heart of the riff. This whole sequence will get played 3 times. So nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeat. 2, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 4, 2, 2, 5, 4, 5, 2, 5, 4. Oh. And then one more time. Index, index, ring, index, pinky, index, ring, index, index, pinky, ring, pinky, index, pinky, ring. If you weren't aware, basically measure 1, I did the count. Measure 2, I did the frets. And measure 3, I did the fingers that would get used. So take your time with this. Use the tab that's in this video that you can see on the screen, and just take your time with it. So once that has been played 3 times, when we play it the 4th time, it's a little bit different. So it starts off kind of the same. So it does the 2, 2, 4 on the A, 2 on the E, 5 on the A, 2 on the E. But here, it's going to go to the 4 on the A like it did before, but now it's going to go to the 2 on the A instead of on the E. So instead of going here, we're coming here. So it's a little bit different. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2nd fret on the A string. Okay? And then in the next measure, it's going to have half notes on some chords. And the first chord is basically just a D chord, if you're familiar with this chord. Looks like that, but you're not going to play the whole thing. You're actually only going to play the D string, the G, and the B, and the middle finger won't be needed. I mean, you can certainly put it there if you want, but it's not going to get played. So once you have this shape, thinking of it like a D chord, so your first finger is on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your ring finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string. And just as a note, you could use your middle finger here if you want, but I like to do this because my muscle memory of the D chord's right there, and it's a little faster to me. And with the pick, I'm going to be careful to only pick the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. Like that. The hardest part here is simply only picking the correct strings. If you pick, would be very easy to pick too many strings, so that's the only thing to really watch out there. Now, the next chord is pretty interesting. It's not the most common E chord that is ever played, but it's very cool. So what you do in order to get this chord is you're going to take your first finger and you're going to flatten it, kind of bar it basically on the 2nd fret of the A and the D string. Then you're going to have your ring finger on the 4th fret of the G string. So it kind of feels like a power chord a little bit, but different, obviously. And then the pinky is going to go to the 5th fret of the B string. I actually think this is probably the hardest part of the intro, honestly, because this is a little bit of a weird chord and your hand has to stretch out a little bit. If this is too hard, don't worry too much about it. You can kind of cheat. You can just kind of hit the low E string, or maybe just this, or just this. It'll sound perfectly fine. But if you are adventurous and you want to try this, go for it. Just take your time with it. Some tricks you can do, just kind of practice one thing at a time. Just kind of get that, and then get that there, and hold it for a little bit. Just get used to feeling that. Then add the pinky. The pinky's probably going to be the hardest part for you. Like, you might struggle to get the pinky to get down there. Once again, you're asking your hand to do weird things if you've never played guitar before. So that's why it feels weird. But if you do it daily, your muscles will start to develop. But warning, if you feel any strain or pain, just stop. So take your time with it. But as soon as any kind of like hand cramping pain, just, take a break for a bit and come back to it later and try again. Okay? So once you have it, you're going to hit all the strings except for the high E, but that's kind of not too bad because your index finger is kind of naturally going to mute that E string anyway. So the way my first finger is angled, it's grazing against that high E, and so it's not going to really come out anyway. So anyway, once you have that, you just be careful to really try to pick all this so you get the full color of it. Okay, so the 4th time around, 1 and 2 and 3 and D chord, big E, and that would be 1, 2, 3. So do all down picking as you're playing. That'll make your life really easy. And so let's play this together at a slower tempo, and we will count it out loud. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeat for that 4th unique time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D chord. 1, 2, E chord, 3, 4, like that. Okay, and the D and the E chord are found in the key of A major, also F sharp minor. The song is about to kind of hit an A major feel for a second, so it's probably trying to transition us into the A major if I were to take an educated guess. But in A major, the D chord would be the 4 chord, and the E chord would be the 5 chord, which perfectly sets us up for the etc. That riff feels more like in the key of A. It's a bit of a happier riff. So anyway, I hope you have fun with this. Really take your time. This is a beginner riff, but it's also not like incredibly easy either, even though it's considered a beginner riff. You're asking your hand to do some strange things. So keep those warm-up tips in mind, like this thing, really slow. Okay, and also the picking when you're playing the actual riff and the down picking. Just watch out for when you're switching strings, like right there. And once again, I'm just doing all down picking. You can certainly use alternate picking if you like, but I think you'll find in this beginning stage that the down picking will make your life a lot easier for now. So you can just kind of focus on what the left hand is doing. And then with the chords, if you've never played these chords before, just kind of take your time. Real fun thing is to play it, drop your hand, bring it back, drop your hand, bring it back, etc. Same with this chord, drop it, etc. So anyway, once again, my name is Adam with the Adam Wines Guitar Academy, and I am available for private Zoom lessons if you are interested. Feel free to contact me directly, and my contact details are in the description.